Not every cost of building custom software involves you paying an invoice from a designer or developer. In this video, I'll share the additional human cost that you've got to account for when dealing with a custom software development project. Hi, my name is Adam McGowan, Firefield's CEO. My day job is to help non-technical leaders harness technology in order to grow, protect, or spark change in their businesses. I created tech for the Exec to do the same for you. In this video, I'm going to break down the additional human costs that can have a huge impact on the total cost of your next software development project. Well, we all know time is money, and so when it comes to the time that your team spends on executing your software development project, it can really add up. And I'm talking about team members who don't design interfaces, who don't write code, who don't manage servers. I'm talking about the stakeholders involved in getting this product off the ground, getting commitment to get it built and getting it launched and making it successful. There can be a huge amount of time devoted by this team of individuals into getting a product designed, scoped, developed, launched, off the ground, and ultimately becoming a success. I think there's 5 key factors that go into this human cost of development from your team, and I'll describe them here. All right, component number 1 has to do with scoping the problem. So, are the right questions being asked, and are you trying to solve the actual right problem? So, it's really good to make sure that you dig in, do a lot of diligence up front, and this is the type of diligence that your non-technical team is likely doing. Should we do anything at all? Should we not? Oftentimes, unfortunately, this can lead to some sort of analysis paralysis, if you will. So not understanding what's available, not understanding what's possible, not understanding the benefits to the company. In many cases, your non-technical team can get very spun up in this part of the process and spend a lot of time on it. So if the time is not well spent, really costly. But even if it's absolutely critical, it's still a material amount of time and one that you've got to figure into your estimates of what the true cost of software development really is for your company. Okay, the second category has to do with choosing a team. And I'm talking about a team external to the core team. I'm talking about people you're either going to hire in as freelancers or possible employees, or engaging with a third-party firm to do the design, development, and deployment, the execution work on the project. For a non-technical team, it can oftentimes be really hard to assess some collection of individuals who are technical. It's hard to get up to speed. It can really take some time. Now, in other videos, we'll talk about how to pick the right partner, and the right partner should help make that easier for you, but it's still a material amount of time. So assessing how much effort is going to go into the process to pick a vendor, a resource, a contractor, an employee, really important not to lose sight of that when you're doing your initial estimation of a project. All right, category number 3 has to do with participation in discovery. So if you don't know what I mean by discovery, so discovery we talked about in episode 8, we'll talk about it in some other videos, but it is the period of time where you design the system, you get ready to build. This is oftentimes the biggest time commitment from your non-technical team, because a good partner from a technical perspective will need to be extracting tons of insight, information from you and from your team to make sure they're building the right product. And also, discovery should be a very iterative, collaborative product. So there's no exact answer to this question, but it is important to ask the team with whom you're going to work, that technical team, what is their approach to discovery? What are their expectations on your people, on your team? Because a big chunk of your time and your team's time is going to be devoted to this early stage of the development process. All right, the next category has to do with the actual process of development. So let's assume that you've hired a really great technical partner. They want to be collaborative, they want to be iterative, they want to work really closely with you during the development process. Well, what does that look like? How often are they demonstrating? How much feedback do they need? How many requests are they going to make of your team for which they need a response, for which your reaction will impact how that product will continue to evolve? It's really important. Different vendors have different approaches, but it's critical that you're in full understanding of what you're going to get, how much time is expected from the tech team, how much time is expected from your team during the build, which is usually the longest phase of the software development lifecycle. So it's a big phase, it can get lengthy, and it can add up to quite a bit of time. If done well, it's incredibly important, critical time, but it's not zero. And so you gotta make sure you're thinking about what is the cost to you and the lost ability to use those internal resources on other projects at your company. And the last category of human costs, I describe it as taking ownership. So when you get to that third phase of development, the release or the launch, well, in many cases, people feel like that's when things are over. In some cases, it's like finishing the first marathon and getting ready to run the second one, because now you have a product that's live that people are going to count on. So who's going to be responsible for making sure it works as agreed? Who's going to be responsible to collect feedback and possible issues that are going on with the tool? Who's going to be responsible for thinking through whether or not updates are needed or upgrades? How are you going to respond to feedback from your user base? So some person, or in some cases a team, need to at least be somewhat responsible for this, and someone's likely going to have to lead the charge. So making sure you think about taking ownership is really critical as you assess what the human cost is going to be of custom developing software for your company. Now that you've got a handle on these expenses, click this video to learn about the ongoing costs of owning your software. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm posting new content at least once a week to help you compete and win in an increasingly technical world. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you on the next episode.